All right, next up, we've got the playground. Now, I'm going to race through these because I'm going to do individual videos on each of these models, but obviously, I don't expect everyone to use all of these. But again, the idea behind all these models is to really give the power back to the trader in terms of how they interpret and make their own decisions. Most platforms out there kind of try and tell you what to trade. This just really does put the power and the data in your hands. And the idea behind them models are to make it really visual and easy to understand what the setup is and the exact probabilities of outcomes historically. So again, I'm just going to race through these very quickly. Multi-day path probability. This is looking at, okay, when you've got a certain setup, what happens over the next X number of days. Okay, so it could be, I don't know, a big gap down or NFP or FOMC, anything like that. You can graph what it looks like. So I'm just because I'm lazy, I'm going to use the flow here. So I've just asked Mosaic AI here, okay, we've had day after holiday on the US, it's positive. What does the next 3 days look like? Okay, so this just shows the highest point, the lowest point, and the net. So I should be able to open it up here. Okay, and it just shows the percentages of touching different levels. Okay, so over the next 3 days, historically, 85% have reached at least 48 points to highs. And on the flip side, that same 85% marker, only 8 point to lows. So really skewed to the upside in that case. Again, I'll go into this again, but you can really drill down and go, okay, against live price, what percentages has historically gone higher than our current highs and lower than our current lows. Okay, so that's really, really cool. What else have we got? Okay, condition probability model. There's literally just asking the data, if this, then what's the probability of that? Okay, so just another really quick way to do it. This morning I was just asking, what happens when that open gap collapses more than 20? How often do we get to 15 points session highest? Okay, so 80% came out this morning. Okay, so I'll do the rest through, actually, I'll just jump in here, ASX Probability Engine. This is just reverse engineering bullish days on the AUS 200, bearish days on the AUS 200. How does the current day map to either of those? Okay, so obviously today is not the best example because, we just collapsed from open. So obviously there's never been a bullish finish to the day when we've had this early shape. Okay. So maybe not today is probably not the best example, but it is really valuable when you might have a choppy 15 minutes or first hour. Pullback probability. This is only when the Aussie breaches 50 points to day highs, and it just tells you how likely it is to finish higher or lower than that live price on those days. But we'll just quickly do the other models based on the same example from this morning. So given this current setup, as an example, whereas the edge overlay looks at end-to-end kind of moves given a certain setup. So, given this setup, where are we currently trading versus historical distribution? Okay, so we're currently down 28 points, 27 points. Okay, so EV from here historically it's up 6. The mean's 21. We're at the 42nd percentile. Okay, so we're right in the kind of the guts of where most sessions finish today. All right. Obviously, as it starts getting to the extreme ends in terms of percentiles, that's where potentially, if you're looking for mean reversion, that's where you're looking at. Okay, because if you get, say we got down to the bottom 5 or 10% this morning, that's literally saying that only 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 days finish at or below that price. So that gives you potentially gives you a good sense to look for a mean reversion. Alerts you can set, if you want to know when that crosses past 10% percentile, you can set an alert there. So that is the edge overlay. Next, range. So again, this is just saying, okay, all those days that had similar characteristics to today. Let's look at the day range, the 10 to 4 range, and how does today stack up? Okay, so today we've done 66 points range. You can verify this, hopefully. There we go. So currently 66 points. So this is saying, there we go, that 63% of the time, historically, that range has been expanded. Okay, so, for me, that's no real, there's no real trade based on that, but this is, when it is, sometimes it's quite early in the day. You might be in good profit. You think about taking profit. You open this up and there's still 100 or 90% probability of range expansion. So, this is something I use daily to especially in terms of where to take profit, just starting to click profit as that percentage probability that the range is going to expand keeps getting less and less. And then finally, high-low. So again, any high or low columns, just right click, add the high-low probability. And again, it will look, given that setup that you've told it, all the similar days that have had that setup, what percent of days pushed higher and what percent of days pushed lower. So you can remember that we said from the context that there was a real fat tail lower, which means that, there were quite a few single digit to highs like we've seen today already. So that number 71, normally you expect that to be a lot higher. Most days go a lot higher than 6 points to high. So, but that's why it's a bit lower. And then 42% go lower than today's low of 60 points. Okay. And you can do the same here. Look at the percentiles. So even, as we collapsed on open this morning, it was still only in the bottom 25 percentile. Now it's kind of come back to a more median level. Obviously you can add tiles here and everything just to keep front of mind on your screen as well. But as I said, they're the models. I'll go into it in more detail in other videos, but really encourage you to play around with these. They're also open to anyone to upload your own models in there. So obviously with Claude, etc. nowadays, as long as you can pull the data from Mosaic, you can create all sorts of models. So I encourage you to share them with the community as well. Just use the publisher model up in the right corner.